Hello, this is Didi Uzun, and today I'll make presentation of our fifth assignment in decision theory lesson. I watched the lesson recordings and three of the YouTube videos. Let's start. The secret of happiness. And first, I want to make a brief explanation about Barry Schwartz. Barry Schwartz is an American psychologist. Schwartz is the Darwin Cartwright Professor of Social Theory and Social Action at Swarthmore College and has been a visiting professor at the University of California, Berkeley since 2016. His work focuses on the intersection of psychology and economics. He regularly publishes articles in the New York Times and applies his research in psychology to current events. Schwartz's research explores the interrelationship between ethics, decision making, and behavioral science and society. His books criticize certain philosophical roots of societies and uncover important myths common to both secular and academic psychological theories. In particular, he is a critic of rational economic model in both psychology and economics. Schwartz worked for his PhD at David R. Williams and the University of Pennsylvania. The secret of happiness is low expectations, that he says. It sounds pessimistic, but is it? Today I watched Brett Schwartz's TED Talk, The Paradox of Choice, where he talked about how we have trillions of options for everything from salad dressings to clothes to cell phones. When faced with so many options, it is difficult not to freeze because our expectations are insanely high, or we will feel disappointment and guess what we choose in the end. Where wouldn't it be easy if we didn't expect perfection and we much less stressed? The Paradox of Choice. In 2004 book The Paradox of Choice, Barry Schwartz tackles one of the great mysteries of modern life. Why are there so many societies where individuals are given more freedom and choice than ever before? Are now almost witnessing an epidemic depression. Conventional wisdom tells us that more choices for the better, but Schwartz argues the opposite. Inconveniently provides that the plethora of elections in Western world today actually makes us miserable. Schwartz believes that endless choice is crippling and exhausting for the human physique. It causes us to set unreasonably high expectations, question our choices before making them, and blame ourselves completely for our failures or what we didn't choose. His relevant examples from consumer products to lifestyle choice underscore the fundamental point that too many choices undermine happiness. Practical Wisdom. That's another book of Schwartz. Schwartz and Sharpie define a wise person as someone who knows how to do the right thing in the right way in this situation with this person. One of the many examples of practical wisdom in the book is the story of a hospital janitor. They quote Emmy's research on Luke, an African American who has been hospital cleaner for 15 years. Luke shared how he coped one day when a comatized patient room not clean because of him. The patient concerned father had even cleaned that room while he was outside smoking. Instead of arguing with the patient's hostile father, he cleaned the room again. Luke then said, "Yeah, I cleaned it so that he could see me clean it. I can understand how he could be angry. It was like 6 months that his son was here. He will be a little frustrated, and so I cleaned it again. But I wasn't angry with him. I guess I could understand." Luke's job description said nothing about how to treat patients. His instructions were all about the mechanics of the cleaning job and had nothing to do with the hospital's goals or interactions with others. But here he used empathy to put himself in patient's father's shoes and did something to ease the tension. Luke used practical wisdom. Uh, According to Schwartz, summary of the 6 key characteristics of a wise person. A wise person knows how to proper aims of activities he is engaged in. A wise person knows how to improvise, balancing conflict aims and interpreting rules and principles in the light of particularities of each context. A wise person is perspective, knows how to read a social context, and knows how to move beyond the black and white of rules and see the gray in the situation. A wise person knows how to take on the perspective of another, to see the situation as the other person does, and thus understand how the other person feels, like Luke did. A wise person knows how to make emotion an ally of reason, to rely on emotions to signal what a situation calls for, and to inform judgment without distorting it. A wise person is an experienced person. Practical wisdom is a craft, and craftsman's trained by having the right experiences. Thank you for listening. I'm Dide. I'll see you in finals.